Okay, guys, once again, I welcome you to my lesson for today. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to say it's very, very much important, guys, that I say it's massively important because what I have to tell you guys, it's very, very much important. Ladies and gentlemen, a day without learning something new is a day wasted. So please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. So guys, I just want you to see that part over there. So this is analytical geometry. So it's a chapter that we'll be looking at. And remember, guys, I'm mostly interested in teaching you guys the basics. So I'm going to invest much of my time into the basics so that when we solve exam type of question, you fully understand based on the basics that I'm going to give you guys. So obviously, under that chapter of analytical geometry, we've got mainly three formulas that on a regular basis we'll be using. It's not only the three formulas that we'll be using, but in most cases, you are most likely to get three of these formulas in your questions, where we'll be looking at the distance formula, and again, we'll be looking at the gradient formula, and again, we'll be looking at midpoint formula. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously, when dealing with distances, there's nothing much tricky about you having to calculate the distance of a given segment or a given line. We know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you remember that right-angled triangle where we've got x and again we've got y. So we know very well that if this is the opposite, this is the adjacent, and obviously this is the hypotenuse, of which we can refer to that as h. Otherwise, we can refer to that as r. Also, we can refer to it as just d, which means the distance from that point up to that point over there. Remember, guys, the distance formula comes from that theorem of Pythagoras. I hope you still remember that theorem of Pythagoras says the hypotenuse squared. Remember, in this case, the hypotenuse is that r over there. Otherwise, is that hypotenuse represented by h? Or otherwise, we can use d, which refers to the distance. So that means there where I wrote r, I can still write h or d. So that means from that point up to that point squared, it's equals to what is it? I think it's x squared plus y squared. So if you remove that squared over there, obviously what you're going to do is to have r, which is being equals to, you introduce a square root. You therefore have r, which is equals to square root of the whole of that. And that x value, remember, that x value is from that point to that point over there. So that is why within that x, I'm not sure if you guys are able to see where I'm writing over there. Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Maybe let me put this over there and get new board so that I just explain everything related to the distance. So I'm saying, let's say on a Cartesian plane where we've got the y and the x, then we've got a triangle over there. So there's that point and also that point. So let me refer to that as D instead of using H. So obviously we know the horizontal line is the X line. So let's call it 1X. Obviously the vertical line is represented by Y. So what I'm saying is we've got that formula of that distance from there up to there being equals to that horizontal line being x squared plus that vertical line being y squared. Therefore, for us to just have d without that squared, so that means we can introduce a square root sign on both sides. So this square root on this side is going to just remove that square over there, and on this side you just remain with x squared plus y squared. So remember guys, obviously on a Cartesian plane you've got numbers over there. Let's say there 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously on the vertical line you still have some numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. So my question to you guys, that length from number 1, remember that point over there, it's at where y is 1, x is 1. So the length from there to there, is there someone who wants to remember that point over there is 4, and then the y is what is it? It's 1. So my question to you guys is, what is that length from there to there? What is it? Is there someone who wants to guess?
It's 3, sir.
Who's saying it's 3?
It's 3, sir.
Okay, it's 3. So how did you calculate that 3? You obviously said the second x value minus the first x value. Am I correct? Is this what you did to calculate that value?
Yes, sir.
Does everyone agree with that answer of 3? Okay. So that means if we update that formula, we have d is equals to square root of, obviously you said that x value which is 3. You got it by saying the x, the second x value which is 4 minus the first x value which is 1. So that means we've got the second x value minus the first x value, and there's that squared over there, plus y squared. So now what is that length from that point up to that point over there? So remember, that point there is where x is 1, y is 1. That point over there, x is that same 1, and then y is that 4 over there. So what is that length over there? Is it because you're not able to see, guys? Let me do this.
Yes, sir.
So is it clear now? Are you able to see? So I'm saying that point there is where x is 1 and then y is 1. And that point over there is where x is still that 1, y is 4. So my question is, what is that length there? What is that length?
It's 3, sir.
So how do you get that 3?
Say it's y2 minus y1.
Same thing that you did with the x value. So you say y2 minus y1. So ladies and gentlemen, let's now update that formula over there, which means we are going to have distance is equals to square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 close. So this is where the formula for calculating the distance comes from. So I try to explain it using that so that you are able to understand exactly where that formula comes from. So did that make sense for everyone, or is there someone who did not understand what I was trying to explain over there?
Understood, sir.
Understood, sir.
Okay, so
Good, sir.
now let's maybe have a mini example over there. So let's say on a Cartesian plane, we've got that and we've got a point over there. Let's say that point, obviously, it's where the y values are negative, and let's make it negative 8, let's say negative 6, and the y value, let's make it negative 4, and there we've got same time. Guys, same time you can try to calculate the distance. So let's say over there we've got the x value being 4 and the y value being 7. So the question says calculate the distance between point A and point B. So whoever gets the distance, just let me know what is the value for your distance. What is the distance between point A and B?
So please repeat the question.
So calculate the distance between point A and point B. Whoever gets the distance, just let me know what distance are you getting.
So what is the x value as point A?
So for point A, the x value is 4, y value is 7. Lerato, are you still there? Michelle, Lebo, Shuyas, are you guys there with us?
Yes, sir.
So are you still working out
Yes, sir.
the distance?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm unable to see the coordinates of B. Is it negative 8? It's to negative 4.
So it's negative 6 and negative 4.
Sir, can you please show the method how to work it out again, sir?
Frias, you're saying something? I can't hear you.
Sir, can you please show the method of how to work the distance out? How to work the distance out one more time, sir?
Let me try. Also, you want an example of how you work out the distance. You haven't done it before, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, no, it's fine, guys. Let me do this problem so that we are all on the same page. So, before I do it, is there someone who has done it? Who's got an answer? Okay, no, it's fine. So I'm going to then show you how to calculate the distance. So remember, guys, the distance formula, you must always know it by heart. I'm just not sure of exactly where to write, but otherwise, okay. So this is the distance formula, guys. It says D is equals to square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So we've got two values, A and B. So always, for you to calculate the distance, you need 2 points. So you've got point A, you've got point B. So when we calculate the distance, we want to know what is the distance from that point over there to the next point. That is the distance that we are trying to calculate. So if you remember, based on what I've explained when we were deriving this formula, so you can just join those two lines over there if you want to visualize the triangle that I was talking about. So it's more like when I was asking about the x2 minus x1. So it was this 2 points there, and the y values, it was this 2 points over there, where I was saying what is that length there, where you say y2 minus y1, and I was asking what is that length over there, and you said it's x2 minus x1. I'm not sure if you guys remember this part. Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
between A and B, which one can be x1 and which one can be y1, which one can be x2, which one can be y2? So remember, between A and B, A comes first. So let's make it x1, y1. B comes second alphabetically. So we make the second point x2, y2. So that means, what is your y? Your y2 is -4. So you just substitute everything on that formula, guys. Let's try to substitute and see what we've got. So we've got D, which is equals to what is x2? Let's see. X2 is -6. So you opened the first bracket, another bracket, because it's a negative value. So you stay -6. What is x1? X1 is that one over there. Remember, what is the sign in the formula in between? It's a minus. Then if it's a positive value, you can just say 4, then you square it. Then you say a plus, which is that plus over there. You open a bracket, and what is your y2? Your y2 is -4 because it's a negative inside the bracket. The formula this is minus, what is your y1? Because the positive, you can just say positive, you close, then you square. Then you punch all of this on your calculator. Whatever value that you get as your distance, then you just say units. So punch on a calculator and see what is that distance. So square root into, you open again, you say -6, you close, -4, you close, squared, plus into -4, -7, close, squared, it's equals to, I'm getting square root of 221 in a form of a decimal is 14.87 units. So guys, was I too fast, or do you understand?
Yeah, understood, sir.
I understand, sir.
Okay, so let me give the last example where I'm going to show you how you answer that in an exam. So you might be given something, let's say a line going like that. So this is your Cartesian plane. For you to know your Cartesian plane, you must see the x and the y value. Then you know these two lines represent your Cartesian plane. Then they've got a line over there. Let's say this is point F, this is point G. So your x value there, let's say it's -7, and your y value there is +4. Then there you've got your x value as +5, and you've got your y value as let's say -8. And the question says, calculate the distance between a point F and G. So this is the question in exam. So what you do, because the question said calculate the distance, let's write the distance formula, which is D is equals to, you guys said it's x2 minus x1 close squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Then you need 2 points. You've got your first point being -7 and 4. You've got another point, which is point G. We've got 5 and -8. So between F and G, which one comes first and which one comes second?
Sir, please repeat the question.
So the question says calculate the distance between point F and G. So my question is, between F and G alphabetically, which letter comes first and which letter comes second? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So F comes first, which means this is going to be my x1 and this is going to be my y1. This is going to be x2. This is going to be y2. Remember, guys, always, the coordinates, you have x and y. So this is the standard form of how the coordinates are given. If they just give you a point and say it's -7 and 4, that first one is x, the second one is y. So now that I know which one is my x1, which one is my x2, you substitute in the formula, guys. So that means, what is your x2? X2 is 5. I can just write this 5 minus what is my x1? Can you see x1 is a negative value? Let's substitute it in brackets as -7. Remember to close again, because the mistake that you normally do is to open for negative, you close, then you put a square, then it only squares that -7 and not the whole of this. Be careful of that. Then it's a plus. So normally what I do, so that you don't make a mistake, you can just do that and then substitute everything inside. So let's see, what is our y2? Because it's a negative, we open another bracket and put in -8 over there. Our y1, you just minus a 4. Then you punch all of this on a calculator. Then from there, that's how you get the value of your distance. We square root, let's see, it's square root of into 5 minus into -7 squared plus into -8 minus 4 close squared is equals to 12 square root of 2, which is 16.97 units. Shreyas, did that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Everyone, let me see. Nando, Michelle,
Yes, sir.
Lerato, Promise, Lebrun, did that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, so that is basically how you calculate the distance. So I'm just going to give you something to work on. I'm not sure if you'll take a screenshot or write it down. So let's say you've got a Cartesian plane being y, you've got x over there. So you've got that line point A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's say there, that point, it's negative, let's say it's -4, and that point over there, it's a 1. And then also we've got that point over there where this is, let's say, 8. And let me extend that line up to somewhere there and say that point over there is, let's say, 6. We've got point N, we've got point M. So remember, guys, you need to use these given points for you to be able to write the coordinates. So remember, I've explained to you that at all times the coordinates are in a form of x and y. So that means you need to write the coordinates of n and the coordinates of M. So just so that you don't get confused, guys, that letter represents a point. Ne? So in a statement, every time when they say a point, they are referring to that letter over there. Then these two values are what we call the coordinates. These 2 points, the x and y, are what we call the coordinates. How do you see the coordinates? If it's -4 in there, it is that -4 along the x-axis. Then if it is +1 there, it is the y value along that line of the y-axis. So this is the x-axis. So what is the coordinates of point N? Anyone to give it a try?
So can I? So it would be
Go for it.
-4 and +6.
Wait, the coordinates of n, that one, what is the coordinates of that n?
Second
-4
and five.
and +6.
Wait, Shreyas, you're saying it's -4 and +6.
Yes, sir.
Next one.
So it's
So for M, so is that a
Sir,
-1, sir?
Which one? No, this is 1.
So it'll be 1 and 8, sir, for M.
1 and 8. Another one to give it a try.
sir, for N.
So
A lady, go for it.
say for n it's -4. Say for n it's -4 and 1 and +1.
Mm-hmm.
For m it's 8
Mm-hmm.
and +6 and 6 say.
Okay, so it's fine. Now I've got an idea. So I'm going to then explain to you how you identify points. So just take a screenshot of that, and this is going to be your homework where you calculate the distance between point N and M. So just take a screenshot. So this is going to be your homework. So can I remove all of that? Did you guys take a screenshot?
Mine is not allowing me to take a screenshot.
No, me.
Oh, I think it's the settings. Is there someone who managed to take a screenshot?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's fine. I'll take
Telegram
a
doesn't
photo.
allow to take screenshots.
Okay, no, it's fine. Taking a photo, I'll send it in the group. So this is okay. This is what I want to do now. So Shreyas, I know you are in grade 10. I'm not sure if Kaya has joined. He's also in grade 10. It seems like he hasn't joined. Is there another one who's also in grade 10? Okay. So Shreyas and everyone else who's in grade 11 and 12. Remember, we have something called Cartesian plane. Are you there, Shreyas? Cartesian plane.
Yes,
So a Cartesian plane is this thing which has a vertical line and a horizontal line. This one named y axis and this one named x axis. So this is what we call a Cartesian plane. And a Cartesian plane has got quadrants. So I think obviously this is the first quadrant. So let's say this is the first quadrant. So can you see? It's if this is a circle or this is a pie, that portion is a quarter. So that's why we say this is a quadrant. Also, that one is a quarter, it's a quarter, it's a quarter. So that means a Cartesian plane has got 4 quarters or 4 quadrants. So this is the first quadrant, and this is the second quadrant. This is the third quadrant. This is the fourth quadrant. So in these quadrants, we've got a values, Shreyas. We've got values. So let me do this. Say on the x-axis, from that point going in that direction, we've got positive x values. We've got positive x values. From that point in that direction, we've got negative values. So obviously, we still have a vertical line, which is the y-x. From that point in that direction, we've got positive y values. So it doesn't matter whether I'm writing this positive on this side or on that side, negative on the at the top, positive at the top. It doesn't really matter that much. So from that point going in that direction, we have got negative y values. So what is that point there? So this is a point called the origin. So the origin is the point where the y and the x-axis intersect. We call that point the origin. So remember, I've just explained to you that we also have what we call a point. We also have what we call a point. And again, we also have what we call coordinates. Very, very much important, guys. So a point can be a point anywhere in the first quadrant, which can be point A. So Shreyas, that A, it represents that point made by that dot over there. You can also have a point in second quadrant anyway. So for now, let me just make a point there and call it point B. Can you see how far that B is from that point? So when we say point B, we are not talking about the position of that B, but we are talking about the position of that dot over there. You can have a point there which can be called a point C. So point C is that point over there, anywhere in the third quadrant. Also, you can still have a point, let's say maybe there, and this called point D. So again, you can have a point exactly there along that line. Again, you can have a point there. Doesn't matter. So a point could be anywhere, guys. A point could be anywhere. But what matters the most is that each point is being given or it's being assigned a letter so that we know this is point P. Okay, then this is point J. So those are the points. Now, what are the coordinates? The coordinates, so that means a point can be represented by a letter from A up to Z. That part I hope we understand. So the coordinates are represented by X and Y. Why X and Y? It's because our Cartesian plane is made of a X and Y axis. These are what we call the x-axis and the y-axis. Both of these lines, they form what we call a Cartesian plane. When you get to vertices, that's where you'll be doing the x, the y, and the z. So now we just do x and y, which is more like 2 dimension. Then when you get to what is it, z, then it becomes your height. So Lerato, you said you wanted to study civil engineering. So for example, if you want to locate something on site, we need to know what is the x, what is the y, so we know that point, or it could be a manhole, it could be a valve, it could be what is it? It could be a grid inlet or whatever. If it's at that point there, we need to know the x and the y, and in civil or after metric, we want to know the z. So the x is the position to say along that line is there, along that line is there, and the z represents the height. So let's not go deep into that one for now and only focus on the x and y. So what I wanted to explain, Shreyas, is that when you see that point over there and want to give the coordinates of the point, you need to know, or you can just make a straight line to know what is the x value there, and again, what is the y value there. So assuming this was 1, obviously it's a negative because it's on the negative side of the Cartesian plane. This will be -2, -3, -4, +1, 2, 3. If there was a 4, then what? 1, 2, 3, 4. What else? -1, -2, -3, -4. So that point over there, Shreyas, do you want to guess what are the coordinates of that point over there?
It's negative. So I can't.
Wait, Dando, are you in grade 10?
No, sir.
Okay, I want anyone in grade 10 to respond, because if someone in grade 10 understands, that means if you're in grade 11 and 12, you should be understanding. If you don't, that's when you can ask a question. So for me to have the confidence that everyone understands, if all those who are in grade 10 understand. So, Shreyas, what are the coordinates of C?
That can be -4 and -3, sir.
-4 and -3. So which one is y, which one is x?
So -4 is x2 and -3 is y1.
Shreyas, I think let me remove, wait, let me remove all of that. Remember, y is the vertical line. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
And x is the horizontal line, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that means all the numbers along that horizontal line is your x value. All the values along that vertical line are your y values. So let's guess, let's try point, which point? Let's try that point over there and say this is point S. Let's say this is point S, and it's aligned with that 3 over there, and it's aligned with -3 over there. So what is point S?
So the coordinates for point S is +3 and -3, sir.
+3 and -3. Which one is X? Which one is Y?
So +3 is Y and -3 is X.
So how do I write, or how do I represent the coordinates of point S in this form? Tell me what to write.
So it will be -3 as your x value first, and then it will
Mhm.
be positive 3 as your y value.
Okay, so that is how you write the coordinates, exactly how you explain. So let's do lastly point D. What is point D?
So the coordinates for point D is positive 4 and negative 2.
So which one is which one?
So positive 4 is our x value and negative 2 is our y value.
100%. So everyone, are we all on the same page? Those who are in grade 11 and 12.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. So now it means we are all on the same. Remember, guys, you don't need to write everything that I write. I've got this lesson recorded, so I'm going to make available online. So let's say we've got a Cartesian plane, something similar to that. This is y, this is x, and we've got that point over there. Wait. Let me not make it there. So let's say we've got that. We've got y, we've got x. Then we've got that line, something similar to that. We've got that, and we've got that. So let's say this is -1, this is -7, this is negative, let's say 1/2, and -6. This is point B, this is point D. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are the coordinates of B? So guys, wait. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case if you want to give it a try, just mention your name, then I will choose from all those who mentioned their name. Don't give an answer, just mention your name. So, what are the coordinates of B?
Yes, sir.
Shall.
Okay. So, Promise, what are the coordinates of B?
It's -7 map -1/2.
So, you're saying, let's say x -7, y -1/2. Nay.
Yes.
Michelle, what are the coordinates of D?
-1 and -6.
Remember, x -1, what is it? Y -6. Always do it that way. Shreyas, which ones are the second values? Which ones are the first values, and why?
So for B, it would be -1/2 is our x value and -7 as our y value. And for D, it will be -1 as our x value and -6 as our y value. So,
What about
for B, sir, it is -7 is our x value and -1/2 is our y value.
Okay, so Be careful of that, guys. At all times, just think of these when you give the coordinates. At all times. Then whatever that is there is called a point. So that means obviously, okay, Lerato, what is our second values and what is our first values and why, using what Shreyas has said?
B will be our first values and D will be our second values.
Okay, that is fine. We can leave it there. So that means we've got D, which is square root of. Obviously, you're going to have the second x values plus the first, what is it, 2x values, x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1. So you can easily work out the distance over there. So I'm also going to take this one a photo and leave it for you to do as part of your homework. So that means you are going to calculate the distance between those 2 points. So now I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure if we should leave it here or continue to create, but I think let's leave it here. Then on our next lesson we can continue to gradient. Then after move to a midpoint. Yeah, because with regards to the gradient, I need to talk about those 2 over there. Or otherwise, let's do midpoint and then we'll do gradient on our next lesson. So as you can see over there, guys, for the distance, we're only using the distance formula. For the midpoint, we are also going to use the midpoint formula. Nothing fun there. You just need to be extra, not necessarily extra careful, but there's some extra information that you need to be aware of with regards to gradient. So let's say we've got a Cartesian plane. So obviously, Shreyas, you now fully understand what is a Cartesian plane, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So everyone understands what is a point. We've got point A over there. We've got point B over there. So now let's say this is 2, this is 4, and this is 6. So the midpoint, it's a point between 2 points. That is a midpoint. So it's halfway between point A and point B, which is most likely to be that point over there. So that point is the midpoint of line A and B. So do you see what I wrote, guys? That point over there is the midpoint of point A and B. So what is the value of the midpoint of point A and point B? What is the midpoint of that point?
It's 4.
4, sir.
So how did you get that 4, or how did you know it's a 4? So remember, guys, always when a question comes,
Okay, So I was saying it's the midpoint because it is between A and B in the Cartesian plane.
100%. So guys, nothing tricky. When you've got a question to deal with, do not stress. Whatever that comes in your mind, it's what you think, and just say it as it is. So this is the midpoint because it's a point which is between A and B, and it's along that value over there. So to get that 4, if you did not know that between you've got 4 over there. So a midpoint, you add 2 values, then divide by 2. So it's more like you get an average of 2 points. So that means it's x number 1, which is 2. You add x number 2, which is 6. Then you divide that by 2. So that is how you get the x value of the midpoint. You do the same for y value, whatever y value that it is over there. So that means you must say a y value of the first point plus y value of the second point divided by 2. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. Let's say that point over there, it was, let's say it was 4. I'm going to ask this question to Shreyas. Shreyas, what is the coordinates of point A?
So for point A, so it would be positive 2 and positive 4.
Which one is which? What is x? What is y?
So our y value is 4. Our x value is 2 for A, sir.
What are the coordinates of B?
So the coordinates for B is 6, positive 6 and positive 4. So 4 is our y-axis and 6 is our x-axis.
So ladies and gentlemen, is there someone who's got a question, or are we all on the same page? Do we all have the same understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So guys, if we do that, this becomes the formula for calculating the midpoint. Just make sure to write that formula down. So I'm going to give an example of how you calculate the midpoint. So in the meantime, just make sure to write down that formula. It's not that much complicated. Let's say we've got a Cartesian plane, something similar to that. We've got that point over there. We've got, let's say, point A, B, C, D, E, being 5, and what else? 6, E, F, X value, obviously a negative number, you can say -7, and the Y value, also a negative number. So guys, you can be given a line similar to that, and the question might say calculate the distance between point E and F, and again can say calculate the midpoint of a midpoint of point E and F. Is there someone who wants to guess what could be the number closer to the midpoint? Remember to mention your name. I will choose. Remember to mention your name, then I'll choose. Guys, guys, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there someone who wants to guess the coordinates closer to the midpoint? Name?
Done.
Go for it.
It is. It is 1:2, sir.
1 and 2, ne? Okay, so I'm going to explain this one. Remember, guys, when you've got a line like that, so a midpoint, it's a point between these 2 points, guys. You can just, even if you take a ruler and measure that and say a line in between is that one. So this is a point which is between point F and point E. So there along that line, you can see midpoint is somewhere there. And Tando is close. So you can still say that's where maybe X is -1, and that's where maybe Y is 1. So this is just an estimate where you estimate roughly where your midpoint would be. So now I'm going to show you exactly how you answer a question which says calculate the midpoint between point F and E. Remember, you already know how to calculate the distance. You can easily do that. So midpoint, you write the formula to say is the midpoint of which point? A, B, C, D, E, F. E, midpoint of E and F. Then in brackets, you just say you're going to have X of the first value. What is X of the first value? So it's going to be a X of point E plus X of point F divided by 2. Obviously, do the same for Y. It's going to be Y of E plus Y of F divided by 2. Then you say midpoint of EF is, what is X of E, guys? I think it's 5. You can see over there it's 5. What is X value of F? Can you see it's a negative value? Substitute it in brackets. Then you divide by 2. Then you do that. What is the Y of E? It's +6 plus what is the Y of F? It's negative. Because it's a negative value, let's put it in brackets, then divide everything by 2. Therefore, the coordinates of the midpoint of EF is, you punch all of this on a calculator, 5 plus into that, this gives you -2 divided by 2, it's
So it gives
-1.
-1.
Then 6 minus obviously 6 plus into minus 4, this is 2 divided by 2, it gives you positive 1. So can you see, guys, my guessing is correct based on my experience. I just gave those values out of my head, but you can see my guessing and also that of Ntando. I certified to be correct because I assume he could not clearly see what I was writing over there, but the understanding is the same. So the midpoint, it refers to that point at the center of the line. Did everyone understand what I did over there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if that is the case, then I'm going to give you guys what you can do as part of your homework. So I'm going to do that, something similar to that. I hope you guys are able to see and say this is negative, let's say 7. That over there is positive, let's say positive at 6, and that point over there, it's negative 4. That point over there, it's 3. That one over there, it's, let's say, negative 9. Then I'm just going to extend that one a little bit and say, guys, you can just write that down. You can just redraw all of that if you're able to see. Then that point over there, let me see if, okay, no, it's clear. That one, let me make it negative 9. And that point, I'm going to make it 12. And say, this is A, B, then C. To make this a Cartesian plane, I have to say y-axis, or just say y. Also, that one is x-axis over there. And this is obviously the origin, which is that point over there. So the questions. Now comes the questions. So I think this should be your homework. Then you can forget about those other problems that I said as your homework. You can still do them just for your practice. You can still send them as part of your homework. But I'm going to say here, calculate the distance between point A, B, this is number 1, and again between point A, C. Then for the midpoint, the questions for the midpoint, I'll just write it there and say, calculate the midpoint between point A, C, and B, C. So guys, this is your homework. Are you all able to see everything over there?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not sure if you'll write it down, or otherwise just take let me see if I can do a screenshot on my side. So what did you guys do? Did you take a screenshot or you were writing it down? Before I close this lesson, guys, is there someone who's got a question? Okay, any question from someone? Lebo, Promise, Michelle, Priyas, Dando, Lerato. Did all of you guys understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%.
Yes,
So,
sir.
guys, this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Remember, in case if you're writing, don't stress that much about this homework. You can still send it over the weekend. So, on our next lesson, I'm not sure. Is there some of you guys who are writing tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tomorrow what is tomorrow? Tomorrow it's Friday. So obviously you're writing during guys, are you still there? I ran out of battery, so I'm not sure if you guys are still
Yes,
there.
sir.
Okay. I noticed you're still there. So guys, I was saying, since when tomorrow you guys are writing, then it's fine. I think obviously we'll be writing during the day. So let me see. Tomorrow is Friday. I think we might need to postpone tomorrow's lesson to next week, Tuesday. So I'll give you some more questions that you can use to practice, not as your homework, but just to practice. But what I gave you before I went out, that one is your homework that you can do and send it via inbox anytime before our next lesson. So when we start with our next lesson next week, Tuesday, we'll be doing a gradient. Then from there, once everyone understands, then we'll be doing exam question papers. So guys, is everyone happy with this proposal?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
100%. So guys, I'll see you on our next lesson. Cheers.